Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mike Deak Field, the home of the Lady Buffaloes. Thank you for coming out tonight as your Lady Buffs will be taking on the Durant Lions. McAlester Athletics is taking nominations for the McAlester Athletic Hall of Fame. Get nomination forms at the athletic webpage, McAlsterAthletics.org. The Oklahoma Secondary School Athletic Association and the McAlester Public Schools promote good sportsmanship by student-athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Spectators are asked to support tonight's game by refraining from derogatory comments or behavior. We ask you to support the competitors, the coaches, and the officials in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. Remember, whether you're on the field or in the stands, be a good sport. Now it's time to meet your starting lineup, starting with Durant. In center field, number 11, Raylan Clark. At first base, number 16, Addie Pratt. Behind the plate, number 5, Lilith Harris. Shortstop, number 13, Ajane Samuel. In the circle, number 44, Emma Scherer. Second base, number 4, Mackenzie Petty. Designated player, number 22, Bryn Ridenauer. Right field, number 23, Corbin Robinson. Left field, number 17, Rachel Spencer. And at third base, number 8, Mia Ibarra. Now it's time to meet your McAlester Lady Buffaloes. Leading off, shortstop, number 2, Rylan Lesnow. Left field, number 23, Avery Halverson. Third base, number 21, Casey Woods. Behind the plate, number 22, Ambry House. Designated player, number 16, Audrey Toney. First base, number 12, Kelsey Rowell. In right field, number 4, Coral Coy. In center field, number 3, Bailey Caldwell. At second base, number 1, Carly
McAlester softball and volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Once again, in the circle for your Lady Buffaloes, number 24, Shiley Mason. Leading off for the Lady Lions, number 11, Raylan Clark.
Emma Scherer will be on the center circle batting 5th. Mackenzie Petty will be at second base batting 6th. Bryn Rittenauer will be the designated player today, so not in the field, but she is hitting. She'll be batting 7th. And we also have Corbin Robinson batting 8th, playing in right field, and then Rachel Spencer batting 9th, playing in left field. So 1-1 now as Shiley Mason rolls another one in there. Looks like a good one, but just a little bit outside. Had an off-speed approach there. So it's 2-1 now. Durant up in the count. Mentioned McAlester Lady Buffs finding out from Mr. Reagan, as Nate mentioned, we spoke to him pregame. It's been 17 straight games that this Lady Lions team has beaten McAlester. So playing for something here. That pitch is hit straight out to right field. Coming over to make the grab. Man, Coral Coy looked like bobbled it a little bit, but came down with it nonetheless. So out number 1 is grabbed and retired. We talked about it last week. Getting that first out of the inning, it makes things a lot easier for McAlester as to where you're already dealing with a runner on without any outs. And so now you can breathe a little bit easier if you're Shiley Mason and the Lady Buffs here defensively. First pitch from Mason to Pratt is swung on and missed. Nice pitch. They're going to say she got a little piece of it. Either way, it's still a strike. So 0-1, Lady Buffs up ahead here in the count.
You take that either way.
You'll take it one way or the other. You are exactly right. Here's the 0-1 from Mason. Finding a good level here, but just a little bit outside. She's not been too high or too low so far, just a little bit left and right. But now coming up, it's going to be her 7th pitch. Mentioned Addie Pratt. She's batting here. 2nd, also playing first base. Man, nice spot by Mason. Found the inside part of the zone. It's now 1-2. She's up in the count, trying to get out number 2. Lady Buffs have not had a lot of 1-2-3 innings defensively, and just those kinds of innings make things just a whole lot easier for you offensively and as the game rolls along. That 1-2 pitch is fouled backwards. Out of play. It'll hit the netting and come straight down. Mike Deak looking as beautiful as ever. For those of you maybe who have not been out here recently or the last few years, it is all turf now. That infield dirt is not dirt. It is turf, but it looks like dirt. That's kind of the whole point of it. It just makes things a little bit easier. You don't have to upkeep it as much in a situation like where we had last week. You don't have to cancel a game due to rain. Shiley Mason had a really weird ball come out of her hand it's going to end up being a ball. It barely got over home plate. I think it might have clipped her right leg.
That's kind of what I was going to say.
It looked like it might have just caught a piece of her body, and it just came out weird. I think it got very close to going over the plate, but not in the zone. So now it's 2-2, looking for a strikeout pitch as she looks over to the dugout to get her call. Head coach Holly Jernigan sitting over there with assistants Daryl Spann as well. That one is hit dead out to left field. Ranging back a little bit is Alberson, and Avery Alberson grabs it for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for the Lady Buffs defensively here as Lilith Harris will step up to bat for the Lady Lions. Behind the dish today, she'll be getting her first at-bat. Mentioned that the Lady Buffs are wearing black pants, and they're not wearing their pinstripe jerseys. I do know that both teams are wearing white jerseys, but if that helps you kind of discern a little bit, hopefully it does. Pitch is a little bit low for ball 1. Looked like a fastball, though. Durant, we started just a little bit late, not really too late. Their bus broke down on the way up here. I don't know if McAlester had to go get him or not, but they ended up making it down. And we only started about 5 minutes late. The 1-0 is a little bit upstairs. It's 2-0 now from Mason to Harris.
I'm not even really sure you could count that as late.
No, yeah, because anything could contribute to just a 5 minutes start after time. And I really don't think that's late. I think that's a good way to look at it. Here's the 2-0. It's upstairs. So 3 straight balls to Lilith Harris here after the Buffs started up with 2 outs in the inning. Trying to avoid a 2-out base runner here. McAlester suffered some 2-out damage last week against Collinsville, specifically in that 6th inning where the floodgates just kind of opened. Here's the 3-0. Just above the knees. Looked like Harris didn't quite agree with it. But it's a called strike, so 3-1 now.
I mean, that's what she's taken regardless.
Yes.
So
Mason back into the count here. Trying to get a full count, and it's kind of nubbed off the inside of the bat. A slow roller up first base, just tossed over for out number 3 as Carly Lamore came over to cover that bag as Rao grabbed it and tossed it over. So McAlester starts up with a 3-up, 3-down inning defensively, and now we turn to the bottom half for their first at-bats of the game. Really quickly, did want to say we're being sponsored by Consignment Exchange. I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. My great-grandfather and grandmother started that business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued it with the idea to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as to a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell. Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment Highway 69 South, and it still is. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Lady Buff Softball on KNED.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field. The Lady Buffs coming up to bat with Rylan Lesnow leading things off here on the bottom half of the first. McAlester defensively giving up nothing there. That was a 3-up, 3-down inning, and Nate, those have been hard to come by so far, so I think that's a good sign to see here in the first inning.
Right, and that's very, very easily the best start this McAlester team has had in the first inning. They gave up a combined 12 runs in the first 2 games in the first inning. 0 here. It's got to be a load off the mind of Shiley Mason.
It's a lot easier, especially as an offense, to step in when it's 0-0. It makes things a little bit easier for you. So for the Lady Buffs now, for the first time this season, coming up to bat with an even score in the first inning, and we'll see if they can take advantage of it. Rylan Lesnow will be leading things off. She's hitting .500 so far. She is second on the team in batting average. She also has 3 hits, which is tied for the lead with Ambry House. Lesnow also an RBI. Mentioned she's tied for a lead on the team with hits so far. First pitch to her. It's a called strike. So for Durant, they've got a freshman on the mound. It's Emma Scherer, but you can already see she throws some gas out there. That's kind of just what McAlester has faced so far. All 3 pitchers have had a pretty nice fastball on them. That one's low and a nice scoop from behind the plate by Harris. So 1-1 to Lesnow. Lesnow's had some really good at-bats so far in this part of the season. A couple of walks, I mentioned an RBI, and she leads the team. Ties for the lead on the team in hits. Also has a double. Watch us have 1 in the dirt. 2-1 now. She's up ahead. The main job as a leadoff hitter, it's not just to get on base. Obviously, that's the main job. You want to see as many pitches as you can from this pitcher so the people behind you can get a good look of what they're going to see when they step up to the plate, because this is their first time around against Scherer. Here's the 2-1. Lesnow rips it up the middle, but it's snagged by Samuel. She'll throw it over for the out. So nice contact from Lesnow, a hardly hit ground ball to the left side of the field, but it's scooped up by Samuel and thrown over for out number 1. So now Avery Alberson will step up. Playing in left field today, she caught one of the outs in that first inning. Or the top half of the first, I should say. Alberson so far, she's 1 for 5. Not a lot of at-bats. Looking for her second hit. First pitch swinging. It's skied on the infield right to the first baseman, and she drops it. She's going to take 2. It's close, and she's going to be thrown out, I think. She is. That was an awkward slide attempt from Alberson. Got a little overzealous there going from first to second. The way that was just kind of awkward. Hit it off the inside of her bat, popped it up to first base, and the first baseman, Addie Pratt, dropped it, and it landed out of bounds, but it hit her on the fair side. And so that meant that it was a fair ball, a live ball, and Alberson took off from first to second and was thrown out going to second. So that'll be scored as an error and then a throw out. So now it's 2 outs for the Lady Buffs, and stepping in is Casey Woods for her first at bat. First pitch to her was a ball, so it's 1-0. It was a bit low. For Woods on the season so far, still searching for her first hit, just 6 at bats up to this point. She'll load up and foul a pitch off there.
And on that pop-up, you just got to take what you can get there. I'm not sure you go to second on that.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe there was a miscommunication or maybe she thought it rolled farther away, but just it's unfortunate, and it was a good throw from Pratt over to second base, too.
Right, because she was still almost safe there.
Yeah, she was almost safe. The 1-1 is a called strike. It's a good spot. And Woods now is up against it with a 1-2 count. And if this holds true with another out, it's a very quick first inning. But we'll see if Woods can be the divergent one here and get on base. The 1-2, a ground ball to the left side. It's grabbed by Samuel. She'll take a skip and throw it over for out number 3. So 6 up, 6 down to start this one as we'll head to the top half of the second inning with no score. The Lady Buffs are playing host to the Durant Lady Lions for a district matchup, and you're listening live right here on 98.3 KNED. We'll be right back.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here on the south side of McAlester. Top half of the second inning, Lady Lions coming back up to bat. Ajane Samuel, she'll lead things off playing shortstop. Threw a couple of Lady Buffs out on the base pass earlier, also had a tag, so accounted for all 3 of those outs in the bottom half of the first. First pitch from Mason to her is going to skip past the plate, so it's 1-0 now to start it out. For Mason, though, on the mound and these Lady Buffs defensively, a 3-up, 3-down inning in the top half of the first. Man, an off-speed pitch. Samuel was fooled, swung in front of it, and whiffed. It's 1-1. It's a good pitch from Mason, who through 2 games now to 3, we can tell she's kind of settled in a little. Does not look the same that she did in game number 1.
No, definitely not. Like you said, it really does look like she's settled in.
Here's the 1-1 from her. It's a little up and outside, so it's 2-1. That first inning, though, Raylan Clark, she led off with a fly out to right. Addie Pratt flew out to left, and then Lilith Harris had a ground out where the first baseman, Kelsey Rowell, had to come up and make the play, toss it over to Carly Lamore for the 3rd out of the inning. Here's the 2-1 from Mason. Hit off the inside part of the bat and very softly foul down the third base line. So it's worked even now at 2-2, trying to set down the first batter in the inning once again, as she did back in the first. Mentioned that Mason, coming into this, had started both of the first 2 games, had a combined 5 strikeouts over 9 1/3 inning pitched. Here's the 2-2. Man, that was a good ball, just a little too high. So it's worked full. So anything borderline close, you would think Samuel's probably going to be swinging here. And Mason, she's going to go for her 6th strikeout of the season. And it's going to be a ball. So leadoff batter gets on base via the walk for the Lady Lions, and that'll bring up Emma Scherer. We have a pitcher-on-pitcher matchup. Scherer, the 5-hole, batting about halfway through the lineup. So she'll step in with a runner on first base. The first runner for either team. A good spot for a called strike 1 from Mason. Found the zone. to Scherer. Mason, she does a really good job. She's not going to blow you away with speed, but she does a really good job with command and finding spots. She gets a lot of those borderline strikes on the corner. That's where she kind of likes to get those strikeouts that she's had. She has a couple of swing and misses strikeouts as well. And Scherer was indecisive. Believe it was a called ball.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I
1-1.
didn't see a signal, so that leads me to believe it was a ball. So 1-1. You guys have a great view if you go to our McAlester Radio YouTube page. You can see both camera angles that we have. Runner does not go, but the pitch is thrown and it's a called ball, 2-1. Our man Nate doing extra work here in the pregame to make sure we've got this camera set up out in this hot weather. Nate, you're a superstar, man.
Hey, I'm doing my best out here.
If nobody else will tell you, I'll tell you, man. But I hope you guys are enjoying the camera angle we've got out there. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed out in front of an off-speed pitch. So Mason has another 2-strike count on a batter. We'll see if she can grab the out here, whether that be a fly, ground, or strikeout. You'll take any of the three. Not to be too obvious here, but
I mean, I think you'd take the ground ball, take a chance at a double play here.
A double play would do wonders here. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed for a strikeout and a throw down to first base. Trying to get the runner. It was close, but she slid back in time. Nice job, and to have the wherewithal from Ambry House to try and throw her out at first base. That's a big strikeout there. Now a double play could end the inning. That is the 6th strikeout for Shiley Mason this season. She had 2 in the first game, 3 in the second, and now 1 here. First pitch swinging down the left field line. It's grabbed and thrown over to Ralph for out number 2. That is Mackenzie Petty, who first pitch swinging. And now Ajane Samuel moves to second base. She's the first base runner for either team I mentioned, also the first to reach scoring position. And that'll bring up Bryn Rittenauer. Now you're just trying to keep anything hit in the infield unless it's a fly ball. First pitch to Rittenauer. It's a called strike. And I will say that Samuel getting a pretty healthy lead from second after that pitch is thrown, probably halfway down the base path. So House, don't know if she has the arm to throw her out from there, but I see that she's watching her as the first pitch is a called strike. It's 0-1.
It's 1-1.
1-1, excuse me. I get caught watching the board.
Right. Okay, called that a strike apparently.
All right, so it's 0-2. Looking for strike number 3 to lead out number 3. The 0-2 swung on and missed.
No, I had it right.
You were right. So now it's 1-2 with 2 outs. So looking for another swing and a miss. I believe that is the 3rd one here in this inning alone. So Mason, as we've talked about, really, really settling in here. We'll see if she has another strikeout in the repertoire. Here it is on the 1-2. Off speed's a little bit low, so it's worked even now at 2-2. 2 outs here with a runner on second base in the top half of the second inning.
Definitely live with that pitch if you're Mason.
Yeah.
You're not giving her anything up to try and hit high and far. Just give her something low.
2-2 here. Skied. Not super deep. It's going to fall in front of the left fielder and take a weird bounce past her, and the Lady Lions are going to score. So that'll be scored as an RBI double. As Ajane Samuel comes around and scores. So Lady Lions lead it 1-0 after Bryn Rittenauer grabs the 2-bag RBI.
And
that was just a skyrocket.
Yeah, that's why I say you don't want to give Durant anything up. You want to keep everything down, make them try and pop it up.
Yeah. And that's what they did. It carried into an unfortunate spot on the infield. First pitch swinging, it's ripped. A ground ball through the infield. They're going to send the runner home. And man, is cut off, though, at third base by Casey Woods. And Durant will score again. So back-to-back hits leads to 2 runs for the Lady Lions. That was Corbin Robinson with a RBI single. So McAlester trails it 2-0 here in the top half of the second. I'll tell you, though, that one, compared to the first one where they scored, that one was absolutely torched through the infield. Hit hard. I don't think Lesnau, if she even had been in front of it, would have had a chance to grab that.
No.
That was hit very hard. That was just a good play to get it in. First pitch swinging. Once again, it's hit straight down into the ground by Rachel Spencer, and that rolls foul. And I will say probably mercifully, because looks like Spencer had the speed to reach first base before they would have been able to throw her out.
Yeah, I think she would have beat that out if it was safe.
It almost was kind of like a pseudo bunt. Just hit off the bottom part of the bat, just really didn't roll that far, a couple feet, and pushed over towards that MB logo in front of the third base dugout. Here's the 0-1 from Mason. Right on the corner for a called strike 2. So Spencer now in an 0-2 hole with 2 outs here. Durant has 1 runner on with Robinson standing on first base. Here's the 0-2 from Mason. Soft roller up the third baseline, pushes foul. Again, just hit off the bottom part of the bat. If you'll notice, other than the one single that was ripped through the infield, most of these hits have not been super hardly hit. That one that was a double that was skied, not hit super hard.
Right.
It just was hit very high. Everything else has been very soft contact, and you'll take that as a pitcher. The 0-2, it's just a bit upstairs. And Spencer at home plate, batting right now, not the tallest in the world, so that zone is a little bit smaller. But you've got plenty of pitches to work with after going up 0-2. It's currently 1-2 now with 2 outs. Another foul off the bottom part of the bat. Bounced and hit Spencer, looked like in the leg. So it'll stay at 1-2. But right now it just looks like the Lions are out in front of everything.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like they're thinking the ball's going to be coming in a little bit faster than Mason's throwing it.
Yeah. And then that'll set you up later for any kind of fastball. Just expecting the slower speed. The 1-2, it's fouled down the left field line. Spencer was out in front of that one that time, as she's been, and most Lions have been so far to start this. So it'll stay at 1-2. Here comes pitch number 6 of the at-bat. Again, looking for out number 3. Durant has piled on 2 runs here. And it's 2-0 with 2 outs. Spencer watches one overhead, and House can't grab the ball, so it rolls to the backstop, and that allows a runner to advance. So Robinson moves from first to second. And it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs here. Runner on second base in the top half of the second inning. Here's the 2-2. It's a bit low. They're going to say it was below the knees. So it's 3-2, trying to avoid a walk here with 2 outs, because after that it turns back over to the top half of the lineup for the Lady Lions.
And any hit here, I would imagine, would score that runner from second.
The 3-2, it's going to be in the dirt. So that's going to be a ball 4. The second walk of the inning for Shiley Mason. And now, once again, as I mentioned, it turns over to the top half of the lineup with Raylan Clark, who flew out to right field her last time up. Had a pretty solidly hit ball. She is a lefty, so that is a pull spot for her. First pitch to her, swinging, hits it out to right field once again, and that is a deep one, and that's a home run. A 3-run shot for Raylan Clark. First pitch swinging as well. So Durant has absolutely pounced on the Buffaloes here in the second inning. And just like that, it's a 5-run game. That one, it didn't look like it was hit super hard, but it just kept carrying.
It did. I mean, I believe it's 205 down the line. Is that right?
I think it's 210. Yeah. So 210, it's not a super long distance, but especially, I mean, for softball it is. But just it's not like compared to high school baseball, I'd say not a super long distance. We hadn't seen a home run yet, though.
Right, and she hit that against the wind.
Against the wind, you are correct. So that's a really good hit for Durant. And first pitch to Addie Pratt is a hit by pitch. And now things have just kind of, you hate to say it because it's still only the second inning, but starting to unravel a little bit here. Hopefully, McAlester will be able to fire back offensively, and we're going to have a head coach timeout as Holly Jernigan is going to come out to have a conversation with Mason. Now, for Mason, we mentioned that she had some struggles last week, but really she had settled in, and she had done a really good job over the last few games. That's the first home run that she's given up, though. So,
right.
I mean, if you want to look on the bright side, as she's in the zone, she has a couple of walks here, but I just think that kind of goes to once you have these innings that run a little bit long, you tend to just get a little bit tired, maybe get a little bit frustrated. Things don't come out the same that they did. And, of course, I'm just speculating. I'm not saying she is tired or frustrated. It's just as a pitcher, your mindset changes a little bit as things go along and other factors contribute to it as well.
Right.
But for Mason now, you've got 2 outs. You don't really even need to worry about anything that's happened in the past. You just want to get this out because 5 runs is still very much an attainable spot to get to if you're McAlester.
Right now, I'm not even worried about that runner on first.
First pitch swinging again. It's going to be a soft roller up the first base line, and it's going to bounce foul. This is Lilith Harris for her second at bat. So we are already through the lineup and some for Durant offensively here. I'm going to ask here when we take a break. I'd like to see if that's the first home run Durant has hit. They've only played one game, but they put up 19 runs against Shawnee last week. So here's the 0-1 from Mason. That one is hit over the top of the head of the shortstop and less now. That's going to be a single, possibly more. It's misplayed in the outfield, so that will end up being a double. So Addie Pratt moves from first to third, and Lilith Harris is standing over on second base. And that'll bring up Ajane Samuel. And I need to correct myself. I said that Durant had already been through the lineup. I was looking at the first inning, not the second. So now they are now officially all the way through the lineup. Ajane Samuel, this is her second at bat of the inning. And she's the only one that has batted twice. So I just want to clarify that for anybody listening on the radio or watching on YouTube. And we will have a courtesy runner.
That will be number 15 for Durant.
That is Ava Booth.
Yeah, I forgot to pull it up before.
Oh, no, you're fine. I didn't know if you had a copy of their roster or not. So
Yeah.
I had to put this right here for you.
Thank you.
No problem.
For Durant, number 13, Samuel.
So now Ajane Samuel stepping back up. She's walked so far in this inning. That's her only at bat. So still technically 0 for 0 in the scorebook today. So first pitch is a ball to her. It's 1-0. 2 runners on, 1 on the second and 1 on third. The Lady Lions have just kind of found their groove here. They started off with a walk and then a strikeout and a ground out. So it was very quickly 2 outs, but then a double, a single, a walk, and then a 3-run shot has it to where it is now. That pitch to Samuel is bounced in the dirt. So 2-0. Nice block by Ambry House. You also get into these situations with somebody on third that blocking any kind of pitch that comes to you becomes infinitely more important. Because anything past, especially in softball where the base paths are shorter, a lot more likely for a run to score. The 2-0 is hit right towards third base, out of the glove of Casey Woods. That's a tough play for her to make, and it allows a run to score for Durant. But the runner at second stays put because, again, it's just one of those very awkward spots.
Well, and it was kind of in a way, a perfect roll because the ball itself, not the fielder, kept the runner at second because the ball just kept rolling towards second base.
First pitch to Scherer is a called strike. And, you say that, and I think that's a good point because had she not gotten a glove on it, Durant maybe scores another run.
Right.
So while you give up the one, you save the other, and it's one of those situations. It was just a tough position for Woods. Here's the 0-1, swung on and missed. 0-2 now. This would be a very huge out for Mason just to kind of grab some of that confidence back. 1 runner on second base right now, and 1 on first. The 0-2, it's bounced, and it's a nice block by Ambry House. So it's 1-2. Bless you.
Yeah, I hope y'all didn't hear that. I have a feeling you did, though.
Well, plus my bless you kind of took away any
doubt.
Any kind of doubt for it. So there you go. Here's the 1-2 from Mason with 2 outs. Swung on and missed for her second strikeout of the inning. It's a huge strikeout now to end that half inning as McAlester now trails it 6-0. We're going to head to the bottom half of the second as the Buffs are looking for their first run of the game. You're listening to McAlester Softball on 98.3 KNED.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here. Bottom half of the second inning. Leading things off for the Lady Buffs is Ambry House for the Lady Buffs now, just still going through the lineup for the first time. And House, her first at bat, first pitch she sees is a ball in the dirt from Scherer, so she's up 1-0 here. 6-0, you feel like that's bad going in here, but it's really not a huge deficit to come back from, especially in the terms of high school softball. Second pitch, it's a little inside. We kind of have a sideways view, so it's hard to tell from here. I know Nate, he has a great view with camera number 2 here.
Yeah, that was inside.
This is about as good as you're going to get until you tune into college softball. That 2-0 is fouled over by us, might have cleared us, and it did.
Yeah.
I always wait for that bang. But we didn't get it.
Which is fine by me.
It's fine by me as well. As long as, don't want any cars to be hit either. You run that risk, though. Parking close, as I tend to do, just because that's because I'm lazy. And I don't want to walk as far with all that equipment.
Hey, I don't blame you.
The 2-1 House. It's a one-hopper over to short, thrown over by Samuel. It's a little high, but it's enough for out number 1. House made solid contact with that ball, but hit it right to a Lady Lion, and sometimes that's just what happens in softball. So 1 up, 1 down, and that'll bring up Aubrey Doney, who is the designated player, which means she isn't fielding, but she is batting. And for her, it's her first at-bat of the season. Did not bat in any of the 2 games last week, and hits one up the middle, a slow roller, backhanded, but that might be enough for a base hit, and it is. I apologize. I was looking down at a stat as soon as that was hit, but it's the first hit for McAlester, and they're finally on base here. I say finally. It's just the second inning. But Doney, her first hit of the season, and now McAlester with a runner on.
It looks like we will have a courtesy runner for McAlester here, and that will be Kirsten Smith.
So Kirsten Smith. Go ahead and make a change. I had her wearing number 10 on my roster.
Only reason I knew that is because I was looking at the lineup card.
That's fair. I believe she might have wore 10 or 9 last week when she pitched, but, things change a lot.
That's for sure.
Things change a lot in high school. So 1 out so far. That'll bring up Kelsey Rowell, and for Rowell, she's 1 for 5 on the season. That is right at the Mendoza line, which is just 200. Kind of a half swing, kind of got crossed up with what she wanted to do there, swing and a miss on a pitch upstairs. So it's 0-1 to Rowell. She's going to have a conversation with Jernigan, maybe just about the indecisiveness, because I think timing-wise she was there. She just didn't fully commit to the swing.
You either got to go or not. Half-hard swing's not going to do anything for you.
No, it's just if you make contact with it, it ends up being almost like a bunt. So here's the 0-1, and she tries to square to bunt, but kind of aims at a pitch out of the zone, and now it's 0-2. And so no more bunt attempt coming here. I mean, I say that, you never know, but
I've seen crazier.
We have seen crazy. We saw a swing on a 3-0 pitch last week.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-2 now to Rowell, and swing and a miss, a strikeout on 3 pitches. That is the second out of the inning. And for Rowell, that is her 3rd strikeout of the season. And that'll bring up Coral Coy. Coy came into this game with one of the top batting averages on the team, hitting 2 for 3. That's a .667 clip. And that's still where she's at, her first at-bat of the game. First pitch to her. First pitch is swinging as well, man. Hit right to third base. Coming over to make that play and get the final out is Mia Ibarra. So, McAlester, they do get their first hit of the game and their first base runner, but all for naught as they're not able to get any runs across. We'll now head to the top half of the 3rd inning as the Lady Buffs trail it 6-0. We'll be right back. You're listening to McAlester Softball on 98.3 KNED.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consigner's name. game. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here, top of the third. Lady Lions up to bat. Second pitch swinging is going to be a foul ball, lands just foul of that third base line. So it's 0-2, swinging on both of the first two pitches she sees from Shiley Mason. This is Mackenzie Petty with her second at bat of the game. She batted in the last inning, and for the Lions, they batted all the way around and then some. They had 11 batters come to the plate, 2 of which were the same, on what was a 6-run inning for Durant. So here's the 0-2 from Mason, swinging and hitting it straight out to left field, but man, I think McAlester got that bounce there. That landed just on the foul side of the left field line in the outfield. Avery Albertson was right there, and just thankfully that landed on the foul side.
I mean, that was at least 3.
Yeah, it took a weird bounce in front of her, and it went left, and I think that's just because of where it landed. So it's going to stay at 0-2, and Mackenzie Petty will step back in, looking for her first hit of the ball game. Reaching for one that's low, it's grabbed from Woods on the third baseline, and we've got another foul ball. That is the third foul ball hit on the third base line in this at-bat for Mackenzie Petty. I've noticed, though, Durant, they like to swing the bat.
Right, and they like to swing it early, too.
They do. A lot of first-pitch swings.
Well, and also pulling it over to the third base side.
Here's the 0-2. Might have hit her body again from Mason, or maybe she's working on some kind of an off-speed pitch. I didn't see it that time, but it kind of came out like the one she had earlier. Just kind of a lob ball, not a lot of speed on it, and falls in like right at the plate. So here's the 1-2. That one's hit to right center field. It's going to fall right in front of both of the fielders, and it's grabbed by Caldwell. She'll throw it in, and it's going to be a double. So Mackenzie Petty with a leadoff double here. She saw a bunch of pitches, fouled off a bunch of them as well, and then finally found one she liked well enough to hit out to right center field. Fell right in front of Caldwell and Coral Coy. Both are in center and right field. And Durant's in business with a leadoff double. That'll bring up Bryn Rittenauer. First pitch to her is a called strike. Nice spot by Mason. For Rittenauer, she had a double, and that's really what got the scoring barrage started. That was after 2 straight outs. She had a double, and then right after her, Corbin Robinson had a single, which scored her. Rachel Spencer walked, and then Raylan Clark came up and hit a 3-run shot. Skied on the infield. It's in play. Lesnow calls it off and grabs it for the first down of the inning. So that's going to be a pop out to the 6th spot on the infield. So now Corbin Robinson will step back up, who again had a single RBI in that last inning. Another opportunity for one here. If she gets anything through the infield, you would think it might score a run. First pitch to her, swinging and hits it to straight right field. Coral Coy's right there, though, and grabs it. For out number 2, runner will tag and go to third base, and they're going to hold her up there. So a fly out for Robinson. She's now 1 for 2. And that'll bring up Rachel Spencer, the 9-hole. And we're kind of getting into a situation kind of where we were at in the second inning. You want to try and make sure you get this out before you turn back over, because after this you see Clark, the same one who hit that 3-run shot.
Right.
First pitch, Spencer moved in. She thought maybe it was going to hit her, but it's a called strike. Maybe just missaw it, or maybe it just had some movement on it. So a good pitch from Mason has her up ahead to start this count 0-1. It's kind of where she is like to be. The 0-1 is swung on and missed. Spencer out in front of her skis a little bit. Whiffed on that one. So it's 0-2, 1 strike away from getting out of this inning, giving up a goose egg.
Just focus on this next pitch. Don't worry about anything else.
Here's the 0-2. High and outside to Spencer. You can tell, though, she wanted to swing at that. These Lady Lions, they are not shy when it comes to swinging.
I mean, with the way they've been swinging the bat, I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. I'm with you. Also, we've gotten a lot of cloud coverage now, which has taken most of that sun away. I would assume it's probably dropped multiple degrees now. The 1-2 hit off the inside of the bat to second base. It's a one-hopper grabbed by Lamore. She'll throw over for out number 3. So 1 double from Durant leads to nothing after a ground out, a fly out, and another ground out. We're going to go ahead and take a 30-second break, but really quickly did want to say we are being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, which was founded on the premise that new furniture was often out of reach for many families struggling to make ends meet. Well, that was over 40 years ago. How much more is that true today? They've helped literally thousands of folks over the years, young couples just getting started, parents sending kids to school, or folks trying to stretch every dollar. Consignment has met the needs for all kinds of furniture and beds and so much more. Remember, McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to McAlester Softball.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here, bottom half of the third inning as the Lady Buffs trailed the Durant Lady Lions 6-0. The Lady Lions poured it on in the 6th, but 2 out of their 3 innings they've given, McAlester, I will say, they've given up nothing. 2 goose eggs, but it's just that 1 second inning. I think we can go back to the first 2 games as well, where it really was just 1 inning that hurt them.
Right, and big inning's been key for McAlester right now.
First pitch swinging by Caldwell, fouls it backwards. And we saw them kind of take a hold of things in that Collinsville matchup. Now, I know they were already down 9-0, but they scored 4 unanswered runs over the course of, 3 half innings, and they had put up 3 straight goose eggs defensively as well. So kind of getting settled in. I would like to see some more of that today. Here's the 0-1. It's an 0-2. So Caldwell now down 0-2 here, the leadoff batter for Caldwell, her 5th at-bat of the season, still searching for her first hit here in what is just game number 3. Here's the 0-2 to her. Good eye, bit outside. Looked like she almost went for it, but it's a nice job to hold up. So she'll step back in with 1 ball and 2 strikes to her name. Here's the 1-2 to Caldwell. It's in the dirt, so now it's worked even. So from 0-2 to 2-2, McAlester, they've done a good job of seeing the ball. Just 1 strikeout so far today, almost completely through the lineup. You've still got Caldwell and Carly Lamore. These are the 8 and 9 holes for the Lady Buffs. Here's the 2-2, fouled backwards by Caldwell. Just a little bit behind it. But I'll tell you that it's been no rest for the weary for McAlester in terms of the pitching they've had to face so far through this season. They've had a really tough start from who they've had to deal with. Stigler was a really good team that won 25 games last year. They pitched their ace to start things off, and I don't know if I could touch her if I was down there.
Oh, I guarantee you I could.
No, there's no way. Here's the 2-2. Caldwell fouls off another one. And then with Collinsville, they had 2 pretty good pitchers that played in that game as well. One of them got roughed up a little bit, gave up 4 runs to the Lady Buffs. But then again, those floodgates just kind of opened in the 6th and the 7th for Collinsville. Here's the 2-2, and Caldwell watches a pitch upstairs. She's now worked it full. It's a 3-2 count. For Caldwell, she does not have a walk yet this season. Still searching for her first. Has a chance here with a full count. We'll see how the payoff pitch goes from Scherer. It's upstairs. That's a walk, so McAlester with a leadoff base runner for the first time this game. And Caldwell, as I mentioned, that is her first walk of the season. So McAlester has a base runner with no outs here. With Carly Lamore up to bat, she's just 0 for 1, just 1 hit so far. Or excuse me, she's 1 for 5. I had her on a different spot on my lineup. She's going to lay down a bunt. It's a good one. The runner's going to take second, and she's thrown out at first. So Lamore, it's going to be a sacrifice bunt there, but she's now 1 for 6.
She did her job.
She did. That's exactly what you want from that kind of a situation. Durant, they played it well, too. Corners ran up and grabbed it. They did enough to throw her out, but wasn't enough to stop what McAlester wanted to do there, as they now have a runner in scoring position at second, and it could be more perfect timing as the top half of your lineup comes up here with less now to start it off.
And you got to remember, there's not a 6-run home run.
There's
in
not,
any sport. So you have to just get these runs back one at a time.
So here's the first pitch to Les now. She'll swing and pop it up. foul territory over towards the first base dugout, but it's grabbed by Mackenzie Petty. Nice play by her. And I beg your pardon, I think that might have been Addie Pratt. No, that was Mackenzie Petty making the play. So for less now, first pitch swing, and I mentioned that as a pop out.
I mean, she was just under that.
I know, it was very, very close. But now that'll bring up Avery Alberson. She'll have an RBI opportunity. She already has one so far. One RBI, and she scored a run. First pitch to her is a called strike on the inside corner. Caldwell, though, dancing over there at second. She's begging to be sent home. We'll see what she gets here for the Lady Buffs offensively. Second time through the lineup now. Alberson fouls one kind of our direction, but not very hard. So it's now 0-2 for Alberson this season. Mentioned she's 1 for 5. Had the only RBI against Stigler in that first game last Monday. And that was a game where they only scored 1 run. Here's the 0-2, just kind of half swinging at a pitch. And that is the third strike and the third out as McAlester. They do get another base runner off of no hits. It was a walk, but nothing brought across the board as it's still 6-0. We're going to head to the top half of the 4th inning as the Lady Buffs still trail it to the Lady Lions. You're listening live on 98.3 KNED.
Hey guys, it's Sam from St. Walter's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at St. Walter's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here in the top half of the 4th inning. McAlester playing host to the Lady Lions of Durant as they trail it 6-0. Leading things off is Raylan Clark. She hit a 3-run home run her last time up in the 2nd inning. And she had a first pitch. She was trying to do the running swing, and she missed it, so it's a called strike. And then the second pitch now from Mason is a ball. So it's 1-1. It's essentially an 0-0 count here. But for Clark, we'll see how Mason pitches to her here. Looks like she's not afraid to go right at her. And Clark didn't hit that ball super hard. It just kind of carried, and she hits it once again to right field, and that gets down. 2 bounces, and that's going to be to the wall. That's going to be a double, if not more. She's going to have a triple. So for Clark, she has a fly out to right field, a 3-run home run to right field, and now a double to right field. She is a lefty, if that adds any more context as to why these things have been happening. Very much a pull-hitting heavy team. The buck doesn't just stop with Clark as Pratt will come up now. She's been hit by a pitch, but likes to swing, as all these Lady Lions do, and they're a heavy pulling team when they hit. First pitch swinging. It's going to be on the infield. I think Lesnow is coming up to grab it, and she will for out number 1. That is a huge out. You want to get outs without letting that third base runner come in or move in any way, shape, or form. So strikeouts, flyouts, as long as they're not too deep, pop outs. And I guess if I hadn't said strikeouts, then strikeouts. So now that'll bring up Lilith Harris. She's 1 for 2 with a double and a ground out. First pitch to her is a called strike. Nice spot by Mason to start up 0-1 in the count here. So Durant, they've scored in 1 of the 3 innings, now 4 that we're in the top half of the 4th. And all 6 of them came in the 2nd. That pitch is bounced to House. She blocks it, though. So 1-1. We've talked about Ambry House a little bit. Really good softball player for just a sophomore. She played travel summer softball for the Epic National 18-under team out in Norman. And again, that's going to be a name to watch over the next few years. The 1-1 just outside. It is. So 2-1 is the count. I'll tell you, I'm looking at the camera view right now. That is such a great view that we have on our YouTube. If you're not watching it there, I would check it out. The 2-1 now is a called strike. Just above the knees. Nice location once again by Mason. I told you that's one thing she does really, really well, is just kind of picking her spots and living there. Here's the 2-2. Swinging at a pitch that would have been a ball, but it ends up being a slow grounder. We've got a rundown between third and home plate. Trying to get her out at home, a throw to Mason, and she missed the tag, I think. No, they're going to say she got her on the leg. So saved it out from scoring at home. I thought she got underneath the tag, but she did not. Nice play from Shiley Mason. Believe Casey Woods was involved in that as well with Ambry House to get the runner out, trying to go home. I will say, though, Lilith Harris ended up taking it to second base, and that is all because of a fielder's choice.
And it looks like we've got the head coach for Durant talking to the home plate umpire right now, kind of pleading his case.
Well, you probably had a great shot of it on the cam, so anybody that wants to go back and look and dispute it, you can be the judge of that on your own. We had a great look at it. I initially thought she got under the tag, but I can see how she probably got a spike or the back end of a cleat.
Right.
Because those feet kicked up for Clark when she slid in home.
Right, we'll have to go back and watch it later today.
We'll get our people on it.
Yeah.
I pointed to Nate after I said our people, just to kind of let you guys in on that. First pitch swinging from Samuel, an off-speed pitch, missed it. So it's 0-1. Mason, a little bit of a smile on her face after that swing and a miss. You can tell that she's settling in a little bit, kind of putting that second inning behind her. With a runner on second, here's the 0-1. It's a ground ball hit up the middle. Les now will grab it, one hop, and throws it over for out number 3. That is 2 straight scoreless innings for McAlester defensively, as now we head to the bottom half of the 4th. They'll try to get some of it back. Lady Lions lead McAlester 6-0. We'll be right back. You're listening live on 98.3 KNED.
McAlester softball and volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field as the Lady Buffs are back on offense in the bottom of the 4th, trailing Durant 6-0 here. But some things that they're building on right now, and you feel like maybe if they can get some runs here, they might have the momentum. I know they're trail at 6-0, but 2 straight scoreless innings is what McAlester has forced for Durant offensively, and now they're going to try and get some of these runs back, as it'll start off here for McAlester with Casey Woods. You've got the 3, 4, and 5 holes leading up. Those are the only guaranteed at-bats you have so far just to start, and we'll see if Woods or House or Doney can make it a little bit more than that by getting on base. McAlester through now what is the 4th inning, just 2 base runners. Woods, her last time up, had a ground out. First pitch to her is a called strike. So now she's down 0-1. For Woods, coming into this game 0 for 6, trying to grab her first hit. You would assume it's going to come at some point for the senior. She'll be somebody that'll get a lot of play time. She rips that one to center field. That is carrying back to the wall, and it's gone! Casey Woods with the solo shot for McAllister's first run of the game. First home run for the Lady Buffs this season as well. Mentioned she was looking for her first hit. Well, she got that and then some. So McAlester officially on the board here as it's 6-1. I'll be sure I go ahead and write that down up here as well for Woods. First home run of the season for her and for the Buffaloes. Ambry House, though, who steps up, Nate, she almost had a 2-run shot in a game we called last week. So she's certainly got the power to do the same.
Right, and another shot puts you within 4, puts you within, you can fill the bases and have the tying run up at the plate.
And as you mentioned, a good thing to remember, there's no 5-run home run in any sport. So just one by one, you got to take it. First pitch to House is low. It's a ball, 1-0. I told you, I felt like McAlester might have been snagging some of that momentum, and if they can tag on to what is already a 1-run inning, you might see the tide turn a little bit. Second pitch is in the dirt to House.
And it'll be interesting to see, because we know Durant didn't give up any runs to Shawnee, how that home run might affect the freshman pitcher out there.
That's a very good point as well. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, that Durant throwing a freshman pitcher out here compared to McAlester, who's got a senior. We'll see how that messes with her head. The 2-0 is ripped, my goodness, right at the third baseman, and it's caught. Mia Ibarra with the snag. I'll tell you, Ambry House just absolutely unloaded on that softball. That would have definitely gone all the way to the fence had there not been a glove there. And that's kind of how the game works sometimes. You hit it hard, and there just happens to be a body there.
I mean, you have to imagine Ibarra saw her life flash before her eyes when that
Maybe
ball
just
came at her.
A little bit. I think you might be correct. So unfortunately, that is not going to lead to a base runner. I think maybe should have been able to take 2 there. But now that'll bring up Audrey Doney. You want to hope that doesn't kill whatever momentum, and that they can just keep it rolling, because, again, that's solid contact. 2 hits in a row, or what could have been a second hit, I should say. First pitch to Doney. Just above the knees. That's a called strike, and that's a good spot as well for Scherer to be at.
Yeah, solid contact, 2 at-bats in a row.
Yeah. And you got to feel good about that, whether you come out still trailing in this inning or not. So here's the 0-1 to Doney now. Bounce to her, so she works it even. Doney mentioned this is the first game that she's batted in this season. She has pinch ran, and she already has a base hit. She had the first hit of the game. So she's 1 for 1 on the season. Swings at a pitch that's high, and it's hit very softly off the bottom of her bat, and it's a ground out to the pitcher. So that is a 1-3 ground out. That'll bring up Kelsey Rowell. Rowell, she struck out her last time up. That was her 3rd strikeout of the season, but now she's going to try and grab her 2nd hit of the season. Her only hit this season was a double, and it was the only double that was hit against, I believe it was Collinsville when she had that double. First pitch to her is bounced way in front of the plate. So you can tell that Scherer, it's getting to her a little bit, I would say, just the solid contact. Maybe she's just getting a little bit more tired, or maybe the Lady Buffs are just seeing the ball a little bit better now.
Right.
But McAlester, when they're not swinging on first pitches, they've worked some long or deeper at-bats compared to what we saw in the first inning. Second pitch is fouled backwards. So 1-1. Counts worked even now. That McAlester dugout is livened up a little bit as well after that home run. It's hard to not get excited after a home run like that. That was dead center field. I know that it's mostly 210 all the way around, but I'd probably say that's the deepest part and the hardest to hit it to is dead center. And Woods certainly did that. Hit it all the way out. The 1-1, Rowell holding up on it, but it was called a strike.
And again, that one was hit into the wind.
Yes, and that wind has picked up from where it was when this game started.
And that wasn't a wall scraping home run.
Oh, yeah, that cleared. Here's the 1-2. Rowell watches it. Called strike 3. That is out number 3. So Scherer, after giving up the 1-run home run, gets a line out, a ground out, and a strikeout, looking as McAlester trails it 6-1 and will now head to the top half of the 5th inning. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lady Buffalo Softball on 98.3 KNED.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wamplers Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wamplers Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here in the top half of the 5th inning as the Lady Buffaloes trail the Lady Lions 6-1. Mentioned top half of the 5th inning. We have Emma Scherer up to bat. She's going to swing and miss at a first pitch strike from Mason. Mason has gotten a bunch of swing and misses today. Her off speed, it looks like something Durant is not used to. Again, only their second game of the season. They had their first 3 of their 4 games all rained out, at least per OSSAArankings.com. Another off-speed pitch. Man, Scherer way out in front of it. It's now 0-2, and I don't know if you saw that, but she is very much loading up. Like, she wants to send that ball all the way over the fence. So now I think this would be a good time for Mason maybe to give her a little bit of heat here. Maybe something she won't be able to catch up to. Let's see the route that she decides with the 0-2 count. Another off-speed pitch, and she strikes her out on 3 swing and misses to start the inning. So another strikeout. It's the 3rd of the game so far for Mason.
I mean, if it's not broken with off speed, don't fix it.
I'm with you. That is the 3rd strikeout of the game now for Emma Scherer. That'll bring up Mackenzie Petty. So tying her most strikeouts in a game is Shinley Mason with 3. First pitch to Petty. It's a called ball. House not able to grab it. So it's 1-0 here. If you're Casey Woods, though, I know you're trailing in the game, but probably feeling pretty good about that shot that she hit over dead center field to give McAlester their only run of the game. Here's the 6-1, hit right over to the shortstop, but it's backhanded by Les now, throws it over, and it's not a great throw. It takes Rowell off the bag, so that ends up being, I believe, would that be an error, or would they charge that as an infield single? Because it'd be close timing-wise.
That was going to be a really tough play. Personally, if I was ruling, I'd say infield single.
That's what I was going to write down. I'd say infield single. Because even if that throw was on target, I don't know if she'd get her just because she had such a good jump, and that was such a hard play to make.
And she was very deep in the hole.
Yeah, she was very deep. She was near that third base line, so... First pitch swinging once again for the Lady Lions, and it's going to be a base hit over to Coral Coy in right field. And Rittenhauer, she'll take first base. And now Mackenzie Petty, she moves over to second. Rittenhauer moves to first. And now the 8 and 9 holes are due up with 1 out. It's Corbin Robinson and then Rachel Spencer. So Robinson will step up here. One out in the inning so far. So Mason gets her sign. Here's the wind and the delivery. It's hit out to center field. Think that might get down, and it will. It'll fall in front of Coral Coy. She'll grab it and throw it in. 1 run is going to score for Durant. Nice job of just holding on to it there for Lamore. There's nothing you can do there to make the play at home, and what you do there by not throwing it home is you don't allow the runners to advance. So Mackenzie Petty comes around and scores on the single RBI. Rittenhauer moves to second. Robinson is now at first. And now that'll bring up Rachel Spencer. She is 0 for 1 today with a walk and a ground out. Mentioned she is the 9 hole. She'll square to bunt. Missed it, so it's a called strike 1. So Mason, I know that sometimes some things will happen that could bring you down as a pitcher, but it looks like she just keeps firing back, and she's kept a smile on her face, so not letting it get to her too much, or really at all. She's got a bunch of swing and misses. This has to be the most out of any of the 2 games combined, as that pitch is ripped out to left field, and that's going to possibly roll to the wall, and it will. 1 run will score. It's at least a double, if not a triple. They'll hold her up at second with a double, but 2 runs will come around and score for the Lady Lions. So that is Rachel Spencer's first hit of the game. Brought home Corbin Robinson and Bryn Rittenhauer. And now it turns over to the top half of the lineup with Raylan Clark. Clark has a home run and a triple. So just a double and a single away from the cycle. Here's the 0-1. Off-speed pitch that drops into the zone. 0-1. Got a lefty matchup here against Mason as she is a right-handed pitcher. Mason getting her signs from the dugout. Here's the 0-1. Outside of the zone, House kind of blocks it, but it scoots away from her glove down the third base line, which allows Spencer to take third on the, I don't know if you count that as a wild pitch, because, I mean, it wasn't a wild pitch, or it really wasn't a pass ball either. It was just an unfortunate roll. So 1-1 is the count here with one out. Runner on third base for Durant as they lead at 9-1. That pitch is bounced in, so it's 2-1. And this is a district game. I'm not sure on the run rules on district games. I would assume it's 8 after 5.
Possibly.
It could be close to that. I mean, we'll see if the Lady Buffs don't score in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the 9-1. Clark to pop up on the infield. Lamore coming over to grab it, and she does. The runner at third stays put.
Now, I believe in baseball, when it's in district play, I believe it is 10 after 5.
10 after 5.
So I don't know if that is the same rule here.
I got you.
Or
we'll see if we can figure anything out. But first pitch now to Addie Pratt is a ball. So it's 1-0. Pratt so far today, she is technically 0 for 2, but she's gotten on base with a hit by pitch. Here's the 1-0. Swinging at a pitch that didn't quite get to the plate. That works out for the Buffaloes as it was fouled off. 1-1 now. Mason she does a very good job with that off-speed pitch. It's really fooled the Lady Lions hitters today, but also conversely, they've been able to really get a hold of some of those balls. Here's the 1-1. That looked like a fastball up and out of the zone. So 2-1 is the count. 7-12, it's dropped 4 degrees since this game started. It's now 91, which is crazy that it's still over 90 at halfway from 7 to 7:30. The 2-1 is upstairs, so it's now 3-1. That wind is still rolling along, not too strong, but it's enough to give you some carry as we've seen 2 home runs tonight. Here's the 3-1 from Mason. That one is hit down the left base line and foul. That was a fly ball that landed near the netting for the outfield wall. So it's worked full here. Here's a big pitch from Mason to just try and get out of the inning. Mentioned McAlester, they trail at 9-1. Coming into this game, McAlester averaging around 3 runs per game as they scored 1 in their first game, 5 in their second, and now 1 here. Here's the 3-2. That one's hit to left center field. Actually, more to center field, I beg your pardon, as Bailey Caldwell comes over to catch it and retire the side. So the Lady Lions, they do get 3 runs back, and we'll head to the bottom half of the 5th inning as McAlester trails it 9-1. We'll be right back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Lady Buffalo Softball on 98.3 KNED.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here in the bottom half of the 5th inning as McAlester trails at 9-1. Now, we still don't know for sure if it's an 8 after 5 run rule, so we're going to assume, at least on my side, that this one is going to play out to 7, especially if McAlester doesn't score here. But again, we don't know for sure. We'll find out as the game goes along. But it's 9-1. McAlester trails it. Coral Coy will lead things off, and she'll foul off the first pitch she sees. So it's 0-1 to her. For Coral Coy, just one at-bat so far in this game. It was a ground out to third base. Coy, though, came into this one with a couple of hits. She was 2 for 3 coming into this game. Now she's 2 for 4 after the 0 for 1 so far. So still hitting .500, which is good for second on the team. Here's the 0-1 to her from Scherer. Fouled it off again. Coy just a little bit behind on those first two. They almost looked like identical foul balls, just the way those kind of played out. So now it's 0-2. Trying to be a leadoff base runner for the Lady Buffs here in the bottom of the 5th. It's a borderline pitch. It looked like just off the plate. So 1-2. Nice eye by Coy. So she'll stay alive and live for another pitch. Scherer, she's done a pretty good job today against these Lady Buffs. Really, the only damage is that solo home run. And Coy indecisive, but able to foul the ball off. That's all you really need to do to stay alive. So it's 1-2 once again. And this will be the 6th pitch of the at-bat to her, while the count is 1-2. Scherer taking a long, kind of a prolonged look over at the dugout to get her signals. So she's set, and here's her delivery on the 1-2 to Coy. In the dirt, bounces it. So Coy, she's watched a couple of balls after having 2 strikes on her, so it's 2-2 here in the bottom half of the 5th. This game has moved pretty fast, just over an hour of game time, and we're already in the 5th here. Here's the 2-2 to Coy. Halfway swinging, that's going to be enough to be rung up for a strikeout. We've seen a couple of those indecisive situations for McAlester batters, and almost exclusively it's ended with either a ground out or a strikeout. And again, we talked about this in the first 2 games, haven't talked about it today, but this is a very young McAlester team.
Right.
And you'll see that, and you've seen that so far through the start of the season, and I think we said it last week. At least personally, I don't think this will be the same team we see in a month's time. I think they're gonna look different as we roll around towards the back part of the season.
Oh, yeah, I don't really have any doubt about that. As this team gets more experience, they will be better.
Yes, I solely agree with that. So now, coming up to bat is Bailey Caldwell. She's not technically having a bat registered. She's got a walk so far in her only at bat. First pitch to her is a called strike. So 0-1 behind in the count. Again, trying to be a leadoff base runner for McAlester. In the dirt, but swinging at it. She did foul it off, but might have helped out the Lions a little bit there. It's 0-2, trying to avoid being the second out. For Scherer, she has a strikeout in the last 3 innings. She's got one in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. I guess 4 now, technically, because she has one in the 5th. So the first inning was the only one where she did not get a strikeout. Here's the 0-2. It's a good spot, but it's outside of the zone. Nice eye that time by Caldwell, who's got a walk today. Also looking for her first hit. She's just 0 for 4, and now what is game number 3. So here's the 1-2 from Scherer to her. High and outside. Nice eye by Caldwell. Caldwell's also been very busy in the outfield. She's made a couple of plays. She's also had to throw a couple of balls in as well.
If nothing else, McAllister's made Scherer throw a lot of pitches today.
She has. Here's the 2-2. It's upstairs. So this is another, as I'm just going to piggyback off of what you just said, another situation where the Buffs get down in the count and work it to either even or full.
I mean, we've seen that quite a bit here today.
Yeah. It's stuff like that you got to take away from these kinds of games. Here's the 3-2. It's a ground ball down the third baseline, and it's foul. So we've seen a lot of third baseline foul balls so far today. I mean, obviously in high school, you're going to see a lot more pull hitters, and I mean, that is also true in college and in the MLB as well, or on the professional side in softball. Here's the 3-2 swing and a miss. Caldwell looked a little disappointed in herself after that. And that is the second strikeout of the inning, and she's now Scherer, that is, has struck out 3 straight batters. She struck out Rowell back in the 4th, Coy to start the 5th, and now Caldwell, the second batter she's seen in the 5th. So now McAlester possibly down to their last out if it's 8 after 5 on the run rule side. We'll see. First pitch now to Lamore. Swing and a miss, kind of stumbled. Actually, she tipped it. Either way, still 0-1. Lamore, she's made a couple of solid plays on the infield as well. She'll step back in now, down 1 strike to nothing. Good location on a pitch above the knees. So 2 outs here. Mentioned McAlester, they're down 2. Their last out, I believe. Obviously, we'll keep you updated if that changes. It's 0-2 for Lamore. Here's the 0-2 from Scherer. It's upstairs. Nice eye that time from Lamore. She has a sacrifice bunt so far in this game, so technically 0 for 1. She's just, let me see here. She's 1 for 6 on the season. She had an RBI as well against Collinsville. Here's the 1-2 to her. Swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout. Striking out the side was Scherer for the Lady Lions. And it looks like, I don't think it looks like McAllister's getting ready to go out to the field, or no, they are. So I think we're going to keep on playing. McAlester, they trail at 9-1. We'll say we're being sponsored by Consignment Exchange. They've got new mattresses. I know you may know them as a place for quality pre-owned furniture, which is true, but also new mattresses. It's important for you to know that because they are hundreds of dollars less than retail because they are name brands that are factory closeouts and discontinued covers, plus other factors. They don't advertise the brands, and they sell them as is. For those reasons, you can buy a high-end name brand mattress and keep money in your pocket. Come try one out today at McAllister's favorite furniture store as Consignment, Highway 69 South. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field in McAlester. So the run rule is not 8 after 5, as we're now in the top of the 6th. McAlester trails at 9-1. For the Lady Lions, leading things off here for them is Lilith Harris, who so far today is 1 for 2. She has a double and then a fielder's choice, which means she got on base because she had a ball where she could have been thrown out, but instead it went other places. She's going to pop one up on the infield. And Casey Woods, ranging over on the foul side of the third baseline, grabs it for out number 1. So Harris, if that is her last at-bat, she's going to be 1 for 3 today.
To the plate, number 13, Ajane.
Now comes up as Ajane Samuel. She's got 2 walks and a ground out, so she's just 0 for 1 in the scorebook. Looking for her first hit. First pitch to her. It's an off-speed pitch. It's popped right over the head of Les now at short. Man, laying out for it. And you can tell she's disappointed not being able to grab that one, but that's a tough play for anybody. It ranged a little bit too far behind her. I mean, you've got all kinds of ground in between where she's at short and where Caldwell is at center field. Just wasn't able to grab it.
Right. I mean, if she was maybe an inch taller, she would have been able to catch that.
And it's just kind of one of those things that we've talked about. Sometimes we saw it, especially last week against Stigler. It's just sometimes it feels like every time the other team hits a ball like that, a 50-50 ball, it seems like it's just not going McAllister's way. And that's just kind of the way of the game sometimes.
Right.
And that will eventually change.
It literally has to at some point.
It has to at some point. That is just the way the world works. So the home plate umpire getting some kind of clarification on something. Shiley, was ready to throw a pitch there. And she had to wait. She's got a big smile on her face. Taking on Emma Scherer. It's a pitcher-on-pitcher matchup. Actually, check that. We've got a pinch hitter here. And we've got a pass ball, which leads to a runner taking second base. So Emma Scherer is not hitting. You wonder if her day is done on the mound. But that is to be seen. We'll find out the next time McAlester comes up to bat. That pitch is outside. It's 2-0. And I believe that's Macy Hall. I didn't know if that was Hale or Hall. That is Macy Hall on to pinch hit. We'll see if that's just kind of the situation. Softball is different than baseball. You can still pitch, I believe, even though you have a pinch hitter come in for you. That 2-0 is swung on and missed.
Right. I believe you can re-enter one time.
Yeah. And that is where it does get a little bit fuzzy on the rule side because baseball and softball are different. Obviously, Shiley Mason has pitched all 3 games. That's not something you'd see on the baseball side, especially not in back-to-backs like what they had last week. Here's the 2-1. Bounces. Nice block by Ambry House. That'll hold the runner at second. So it's now 3-1. It's a hitter-heavy count here. We'll see how Mason works her way back into this one. But with a strike, you got to assume that anything close will be a swing. And it's just a bit low, and it's ball number 4. So after getting out the leadoff batter with a pop-out, we've got a single and a walk.
But you do have the double play in order now.
That's true. And you've got a force at any bag on the infield other than home plate. So if Casey Woods has a rocket hit to her on the ground, she can just step on her bag and throw it over to second or to first, whatever she would like to do. But no double play there as that's a single ripped up the middle. 1 run is going to score. The ball is thrown into home plate, which means that Mackenzie Petty will take second base. So Ajane Samuel comes around to score. Macy Hall, who's hitting for her. She's over at third now. And Mackenzie Petty, she's at second, although that will be a single with an RBI. She advanced after the throw. So runners on first and second with 1 out. That takes away the double play. It's a called strike on the first pitch. Looks like that's Bryn Rittenauer. She's got a double and a single. She's scored twice, also has an RBI. So here's the 0-1 from Mason with 1 out. Almost dropped it in, but a little bit outside it looked like. So 1-1 is the count here with 1 out. You've got 2 runners on. Thought maybe a coach was getting ready to come out, but they're just letting Mason work here. Here's the 1-1 from her. Foul ball down the third base side. Stop me if you've heard that before.
No kidding.
So 1-2 is the count now. Gets a strike back. Trying to get out number 2. I know I've said this before, and I know that what the score is what it is, but it's a big out here because I do think that the run rule is out of play, at least right now, on the 9-run difference.
Yeah, I wish I knew more about the
I know, I do too. That is something we're going to have to find out before we call our next softball game.
Which it's going to be a minute before we have another softball game.
That's true. I think it's the Thursday before McAlester Football is the next one. Not hit very hard. It's popped on the infield over the head of second baseman Lamore, and that's going to allow a run to score. And Coy in right field will grab it and throw it in. So 1 run will hold up at third. That is Mackenzie Petty, but Emma Scherer, or Macy Hall, that is, she comes around to score. Mackenzie Petty is at third, and Bryn Rittenauer is now at first base with another RBI. Her second of the day and her third hit. She's 3 for 4, which will now bring up Corbin Robinson. Well, back to our conversation. I was looking at the schedule today. I do believe the next softball game we're doing is the 29th, which would be the Thursday before McAlester Football starts on that Friday.
And that's going to be against the Glenpool Lady Warriors.
First pitch swinging. It's a pop-up on the infield. Lesnow has it. She'll call it off and make the play. So Corbin Robinson steps up and made the job easier for everybody involved. We've got a run down.
No, that's a double play.
That's a double play, yeah.
She never tagged up.
So that is that was Bryn Rittenauer who was thrown out after Robinson popped out on the infield. So she didn't tag up, ran to second base, and the wherewithal by Lamore to throw it over to get her out, and the Buffaloes get out of it, although they do trail it 11-1. We'll be right back as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. You're listening to Lady Buffalo Softball on KNED.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came...
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field. Lady Buffaloes up to bat in the bottom half of the 6th inning as they trail it 11-1. Trying to get some runs back because I do believe if they don't get any back here, this will be the end of the game as they trail it by 10 in the bottom half of the 6th. Or it could be a situation where, we've already played 6. Might as well play 7. Right. We'll see. You just never know with high school. This is a district game, though, the second one of which for McAlester. First pitch to Les now, who's leading things off. It's bounced to her. And I want to point something out, as Nate pointed it out to me in the break. Scherer did re-enter. She is back to pitching after Macy Hall hit and ran for her.
Now, I believe if Scherer were to, and I don't think this is very likely, if she were to come up to the plate again and was pinch hit for, that would be an actual pinch hitter situation.
Yeah, it should be done for the day.
Right, as that pitch was fouled off, counts now 1-1.
So Les now, so far today, she's 0 for 2. She came in 3 for 6, which is a 500 batting average. Now, 3 for 8 shouldn't drop you too far. Obviously, you can't hit 500 all season long, but now she's at 375, which is still a very stellar batting average, especially if that is continued upon throughout the season. Here's the 1-1. It's going to be fouled off towards the third base dugout. Looked like it hit off the end of the bat and was just a slow roller over there. So 1-2, Les now behind in the count. Looking for her first hit of the day. For the Lady Buffaloes, their action really all happened in the 4th inning, and that was thanks to a solo shot from Casey Woods. She has not batted again since then, but she's going to get a chance to here in a little bit. That's a called strike, and that is another strikeout, the 5th in a row for Scherer.
We talked about Mason settling in early in this game. I think it's pretty clear Scherer has settled in ever since. Even counting that 4th inning.
Yeah. So if you take the home run, since then she's seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 batters, and she struck out 5 of them. Pretty dominant. Avery Alberson, first pitch, she sees, rips a single up the middle, just past the outstretched hands of Ajane Samuel, who laid out for it. So Avery Alberson, she's officially on the board with a hit in this one, and for Alberson, that's her 2nd of the season.
And that's what I call a positive announcer's jinx.
Yes, very much so. Because more often than not, you do this job, you say things, you're going to have announcer's jinx, and it is what it is. But one of those worked out in our favor now. It's always nicer when it works out in your favor.
100%.
So now Casey Woods up to bat, looking to replicate what she did a couple innings ago. First pitch she sees, beg your pardon. She'll foul it off over near us, right in front of us in the first base dugout.
I was going to say, I couldn't tell if that one landed in front of us or behind us.
Yeah. So it's 0 for 1. I thought maybe it was going to carry to the roof. We've not had any hit us so far today. That one landed just right.
Knock on some wood there.
Is that wood? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So Woods will step back in with an 0-1 count. She didn't hit that last ball super hard, but it just continued to carry. She hit it in the perfect spot. Nice eye on the 0-1. It's now 1-1 on a pitch that was out of the zone. McAlester, they trail it 11-1 here in the bottom half of the 6th against the Durant Lady Lions. And if this holds up, it'll be 18 straight wins for Durant over McAlester as well. That 1-1 is just off the plate. So 2-1 is the count. Runner on first base now for Woods. Trying to add to what is already a decent day with a 1-for-2 count. Well, 1-for-2 showing so far. She's got a 3-1 count now after that ball was above her head. Trying to be another base runner for the Lady Buffs here. Just trying to build on some things. Here's the 3-1. The called strike. Woods thought that maybe she had ball 4. Now has to step back in. It was very close, but it looked like it was just above the knees over the plate. So it's 3-2 with the payoff pitch incoming. Woods rips that one right at third base, and it's grabbed off of one hop and thrown over, and it's not grabbed by the first baseman. She's safe. That is going to be an infield single. Her second hit of the day.
You put the ball in play, and good things will happen for you.
And that's what we talk about, you know. Strikeouts will hurt you in any way, shape, or form, but especially at the high school level, you just want to put the ball in play. Whether you pop it up, hit a ground ball like that. And that was a hot shot that was grabbed by Mia Ibarra over at third to make a good play, but I don't know even if it was a good throw if she would have been able to make it with Woods because she was screaming down that line. So 2 runners on for McAlester as first pitch to Ambry House is a called strike. House is another one that packs a lot of power, just like Casey Woods. She was just, man, what was it? Probably feet away from a 2-run shot last week.
Not very far at all.
Almost in that same exact spot, too, where Woods hit hers. House watches a pitch in the dirt. It's 1-1 now. McAlester trying to get a run back. Believe that they're down to their final 2 outs now if they don't score here. And Emma Scherer, she really has settled in. After that single, it broke up what was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight strikeouts for her in that center circle. House watches a pitch, looked a little bit outside, so it's 2-1. 2 runners on here for the Lady Buffs. A runner in scoring position for the first time since the 3rd inning as well. Here's the 2-1. House trying to load up there, but just above it, and fouls it off the bottom of her bat. So she packs a lot of power, just didn't quite get all of that one.
I mean, if she gets a hold of one, she might send one over not just the softball fence, but the baseball fence out there.
You never know. She does. She has a lot of power. Here's the 2-2. Loads up, hits one to deep right field. Not going to have enough carry, and that is going to be a fly out. Throwing it in is Corbin Robinson. That will allow a runner to tag from second to third. And I do believe that's Avery Alberson. So House, just as we were talking, rips one out to right field, just not quite deep enough.
Now batting for the Lady Buffs, number 16, Audrey Doney.
So now Audrey Doney will step up to bat, and we're going to have a conversation with Scherer at the center circle. Wonder if her day might be done. But if it's just 1 out away from grabbing the win, I would assume they're not going to pull her. And you've got 3 more outs to grab after this last one if it does go to 7.
And it could be they're setting up that play, or setting up the
Yeah,
right defense for the first third play that McAlester runs.
that's true. They could also do kind of what you talked about, McAlester, because they've got a runner on first. They could steal the runner, have him stop halfway, and see if maybe the throw is made, which allows that runner to score from third base. We saw them score on that twice, I believe, against Collinsville.
Right, we did, and then Collinsville was finally able to adjust to it.
They just didn't make the throw down to second
that
time.
They just let the runner take second and lived with 2 runners in scoring position.
I'm going to go ahead and make a guess here. I have no insight or any information. My guess, though, is that McAllister's going to try and do that here. You don't really have a lot to lose. You're already down 11-1 in the 6th, I would assume. And again, assuming is never a great thing to do, but that's just my guess. I mean, we may not see it, but I feel like I'd be surprised if they don't try and get a steal situation.
I mean, really, there's no reason not to.
No, yeah. You could get another run here with Alberson, again, standing just 60 feet from home plate. Over at third. You've also got Casey Woods at first, and Audrey Doney will step up. She's 1 for 2 today. She's got a single, which would be her first of the season. I mentioned earlier that this was the first game she's been able to bat in so far. Here's the first pitch to her. Swinging and just a lick behind it. So 0-1 now. 2 outs. McAlester has runners on the corners. Only force out is at second and first. So a ground ball on the left side. They would assume they're going to throw it home or throw it to first base. A ground ball hits slowly up the third base line. They're going to throw it home, and it's a bad throw, and McAlester scores. And that allows Woods to go from second to third, and she'll hold up there. I don't understand that play by Ibarra. I understand wanting to maybe make the throw, but that's not a force out. You've got to make the tag. So Doney now moves to second on a fielder's choice, and I think that officially means we're going to play a 7th inning. So Alberson comes in from third, and Woods moves over from first to third, and Doney now is at second base. But if you're Ibarra for Durant, you just pick that up and you make the throw to first.
Yeah, there's no reason to make that play any harder than it was.
Yeah, and had a lot of steam on it. If she wanted to go home like she did, an underhand toss probably would have been better for that situation, as Taylor Williams is up to pinch hit, and it's an errant throw home, and that allows a runner to score, as McAlester has a 2 spot here in the 6th. And it's 11-3. So McAlester, who was down to their final out, trying to avoid being run ruled, they've scored 2 back-to-back runs, and it's thanks to an error on a fielder's choice on a throw home. And now a wild pitch, which has allowed Casey Woods to come home. There's still a runner on second, as Taylor Williams is up to bat. She's got a 1-1 count to her. She's only played in the 1 game so far. That was the starting game against Stigler. She watches a pitch in the dirt. It's now 2-1. Hitters count. McAlester, though, they are clawing back into it. You just have a couple of innings, specifically that second inning, which is really the separator here. Because without that, it's a 5-3 ball game. That one is hit right at the third baseman. Ibarra can't hold on to it, though. She'll try and make a throw, and another run will score, as it's not in time at first base. So Audrey Doney from third base comes in to score.
And I heard a Durant, I'm guessing what would be a Durant fan calling out from the stands to throw home. That is an incredibly tough play.
It is an incredibly tough play.
And that, really, the throw to first is probably the only play she really had. And that's arguable.
I'd agree. And it's the smart play, too, because it's not a force out at home. It's a tag out. You just throw it to first, and all they've got to do is step on the bag. It's just, that's a tough play all the way around. Ibarra has made a bunch of good plays at third base today. First pitch to Coral Coy is a swing and a miss for a strike. So McAlester, with 2 outs, they've scored a couple runs, trying to make it even more here, as it's 11-4. Here's the 0-1. Coy hits a ground ball very softly over to the pitcher. Scherer will grab it and throw it over for out number 3. So McAlester, they get a couple of hits and a couple of runs back, and it's now 11-4 as we head to the top half of the 7th inning. We'll be right back. You're listening to McAlester Softball on 98.3 KNED.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula, and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here into the 7th inning now, as McAlester trails it 11-4 here in the top half of the 7th. Couple of positives you can take away from this. Mason has thrown, other than a couple of innings where things have just kind of gotten away, and it hasn't been free passes. She's done a really good job of settling in. She's got a lot. She's got a lot of swing and misses so far, and it's stuff to build on.
Right, and if you take away that second inning right now, it's a 5-4 ball game. It's a 1-run game in favor of Durant, and you are right back in this thing.
Yeah. So 11-4 here, as Mason will step up. First batter that she'll see is Rachel Spencer. First pitch to her, swinging. It's fouled just barely on the left side of the third base dugout. So an 0-1 count here.
And it looks like the lights are on here at Mike Deak.
It is. They kicked on a little bit earlier.
believe that's the first time this season.
That is true. We've been out a little bit earlier the last couple of times. Pitch has bounced in the dirt. Just because we had an hour later start time, just because of that heat. We started
Right.
at 6 instead of 5. That one is skied to left field, hit pretty hard, but not super deep. Going over to make the play for out number 1 for McAlester is Avery Alberson. So 1 out here as it turns over to the top half of the order. Let me go ahead and score that as an F7. And Raylan Clark, who has a 3-run home run and a triple so far tonight. She's also got a fly out and a pop out. First pitch to her is a ball. But Mason, ever since that 3-run home run in that second inning where they scored 6, just 5 runs, not all earned. Both of those came in the 5th and the 6th. 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. Excuse me. Here's the 1-0. Clark loads up and rips it out to right center field, but grabbing it on the run is Bailey Caldwell over her left shoulder. That's a tough play, and more tough than it probably looked. Running opposite of her dominant hand, just sticks that hand out to grab it, and that is out number 2. That'll bring up Addie Pratt now. Pratt so far today, no hits, but she was hit by a pitch back in the second. She's 0 for 3 with a fly out, a pop out, and another fly out. See if I can crank up this crowd mic a little bit, see what they're talking about at home plate. Can't quite see it. There was a conversation at home plate between Pratt and the home plate dugout. So 2 outs. First pitch to her. It's going to be a swing and pop-up over at third base. Casey Woods drops right out of her glove. So Pratt, standing at first base, has to come back because that's a foul ball. But Woods right underneath it, maybe a light with, the Mike Deak lights coming on. Maybe you've gotten in the way. Either way, pop flies are also tough plays to make. So here's the 0-1 now to Addie Pratt with 2 outs. Pitch is bounced to her. Nice block by Ambry House.
And you can't let that shake you if you're Mason now.
Yeah. You're so close to getting out of what is probably the final half inning you'll have to pitch. You just want to end it on a high note here with another scoreless inning. It'd be the 4th one if she can do it. Here's the 1-1. Bounced. So it's 2-1. Here's the 2-1. That one is hit high, but not very hard out to the left field side and foul. I said not very hard, but that one bounced and went over the fence. So hit plenty deep.
Just well foul.
Yeah, very well foul. Very out in front of it was Pratt that time. Again, looking for her first hit. There are no runners on base. It's a 1-2 up, 1-2 down so far for Durant offensively. And Mason's trying to make it a 3-up, 3-down inning as she did back in the first. Here's the 2-2. Man. Somehow was called a ball. So it's 3-2. Mason with a little bit of a smile on her face. I think she's got the same thought that we do up here as well. We've got a camera, so we can see. But nonetheless, it's worked full. Another opportunity for a strikeout. Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled backwards.
And as good as a view as we might have up here, there's not a better view than the umpire
No,
has.
that's true. So the count stays full after that fouled off pitch. Still 2 outs, though. Mason just trying to get out of this and end their day defensively. They still will come around to bat one more time. They trail at 11-4 here in the top half of the 7th to the Durant Lady Lions. Here's the payoff pitch once again. That one is hit high out to center field. Caldwell going over. She's underneath it. Makes the play for out number 3. So for Mason, what could be her final appearance of the game defensively leads a 3-up, 3-down inning with 3 flyouts. We'll head to the bottom half of the 7th. McAlester down to their final 3 outs as they trail at 11-4. Before we go, do want to say we are sponsored by Consignment Exchange, who was founded on the premise that new furniture was often out of reach for many families struggling to make ends meet. That was 40 years ago, and now they've helped literally thousands of folks over the years. Young couples just getting started, parents sending kids to school, or folks just trying to stretch every dollar. Consignment has met the needs for all kinds of furniture and beds, and so much more. Remember, McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South. We'll be back in 60 seconds with McAlester Softball.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field and what could be the last half inning of this one as McAlester trails it 11-4 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Against the Durant Lady Lions, Durant, right now at least, looks like they're going to end up moving to 2-0 on the season. If McAlester cannot tie it up or take the lead here to push it or tie it up to send it to extras or take the lead, they are going to fall to 0-3 and 0-2 in district play. Leading things off is Bailey Caldwell. First pitch to her. It's a fire of a fastball that drops in for a strike. Scherer is going to go the full distance here, as does Shiley Mason. Did not go the full distance in either of the first 2 games that she played in the center circle for McAlester. The 0-1, Caldwell hits it out to left field. Not super deep. Rachel Spencer grabs it for out number 1. So Caldwell now looking like she's going to finish 0-2 on the day. That'll bring up Carly Lamore, the 9-hole. She's 0-2 with a sacrifice bunt and a strikeout. After her, you have Rylan Lesnow, and that is the last guaranteed batter for McAlester. For Lamore, came into the game with a 1-for-5 hitting clip. First pitch to her, man, way behind a fastball. Scherer looks like she's kicked into a bit of a different gear so far with some of these fastballs we've seen. It's much different than what we saw just in the 6th, 5th, or 4th from her.
I mean, I know we talked about her being a freshman early on. She is going to be a problem.
She is. 3 more years of having to face her as Lamore swings and misses. It's now 0-2. McAlester down to their final 2 outs of the game. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. For Scherer on the mound, that brings her total to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts on the day. And now Rylan Lesnow, she is the last line of defense for McAlester, trying to get back into this one.
Now batting for McAlester, number 2, Rylan
Lesnow is now 3 for 9 on the season, hitting .333. Came in 3 for 6, hitting .500. And we'll see if she can extend the game here for the Lady Buffs as they trail at 11-4 in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch swinging to her. It's popped up. It's catchable for the catcher as well. Ranging back, she grabs it for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for McAlester to end it as they now fall to 0-3 on the season after the 11-4 loss to Durant. We're going to go ahead and take our final break of this one. We'll come back and recap this one and get you back to regularly scheduled programming. We'll be right back. You've been listening to McAlester Softball on 98.3 KNED.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of...
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula, and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field as McAlester now officially falls to 0-3 after an 11-4 loss to the Durant Lady Lions. For McAlester offensively, 5 hits total, 1 home run as well. Also 4 runs scored. We're going to give our player of the game to Casey Woods. Went 2 for 3, a home run and an infield single. Also had a ground out. On the mound, Shiley Mason had the loss. I just had it right here. So she had 3 strikeouts on the day, which brings her season total now up to 8. So not a bad day. Mason, this was the first time she's gone the full 7. Obviously, there are some things that for McAlester on their side, offensively and defensively, that they've still got to work on. But as we've talked about, a very young team, and you can already tell they're getting better.
Oh, 100%. This is not the same team. We even saw day 1 against Stigler.
Yeah.
We've seen vast improvements from that team, and we're going to continue seeing it.
For sure. We'll be back here for McAlester softball. You heard us talk about it earlier. 10 days from now, the 29th, it'll be the Thursday before the start of McAlester High School football at home against Broken Bow. But as for us now, that'll do it as the Lady Buffs lose 11-4. They now fall to 0-3 on the season, 0-2 in district play. Do want to say that we are brought to you by Consignment Exchange, Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford, and McAlester Clothing Consignment. For Chase McNutt and Nathan Brown, thanks for joining us on this Monday evening, and we'll see you later on. Enjoy the rest of your night.